Hey you, welcome to Ray's Corner. My weekly rant on the problems of today, the solutions for tomorrow, and how things, I'm not going to say are supposed to be, but are kind of supposed to be. Today we're going to talk about regulatory agencies, how to prepare for the future, what you're going to do about it, and getting mentally prepared to deal with the problems and solutions that we're going to be looking forward to in the future. Because I'm an apocalyptic optimist. I know everything's going to hell, but it's going to turn out okay in the end. So first, let's talk about some regulatory agencies. I've had a lot of people tell me that driver's licenses are needed. And, you know, that's fine. That's their opinion. However, I'm going to tell you right now that they're not. And I'm going to tell you that driver's licenses have been unconstitutional since their inception. We need to take a look back to all the regulatory agencies that have ever been thought up by man. I mean, take it all the way back to Roman times if you want. Because here's the thing. A regulatory agency is not staffed by elected officials. Now, some of them, yes, might have people that are appointed, kind of like the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Monsanto lobbyist that was appointed head of the USDA. Because, you know, that's not the wolf guarding the henhouse, right? So, here's how it goes. A driver's license was deemed unconstitutional multiple times in our United States Supreme Court. Yet, the Department of Revenue, a regulatory agency, which technically shouldn't exist in and of itself, has enforced driver's licenses, regulations, and insurance policies on the citizens, right? Okay, so we'll start from there. You say that you need a driver's license because we need to show that people are proficient enough to drive a car. Okay, guns. We'll talk about that for a second. But you know, we need a background check for all guns, right? Nah, not necessarily. Don't get ahead of yourself. Look at the 6-shot black powder pistol. Look at the 50 caliber muzzle loading rifle. Okay, that can do a lot of damage, especially the 6-shot black powder pistol. I can carry 2 of those. It's 12 shots. And if I have a spare cylinder for each, there's 24 shots. Now, granted, it's not the easiest to reload cylinders, or it's, you know, it takes about 4 seconds. Somebody who's horrible with reloading a magazine takes about the same amount of time. Okay, speed loaders for revolvers takes almost the same amount of time, right? Do you need a background check to buy that? No. Do you need a background check to buy tannerite? No. Percussion caps? Not necessarily. What about black powder? I mean, you think black powder or some of today's modern smokeless powder, you have to have some sort of regulation on that, right? No, not so much. So why is a driver's license constitutional? It's not, and it never has been. Okay? A driver's license is not something which a city or state may prohibit at will, but a right for the public to use public roadways by carriage or by automobile, which is granted to them under the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That comes directly from Thompson v. Smith, United States Supreme Court case. And for those of you who keep saying, well, we need a driver's license, everybody has to have a driver's license, you are the problem. You are exactly what is wrong with the global society as a whole. People like you look at a problem and say to themselves or say to their lawmakers, we need to do something about this. Somebody should pass a law. I've even caught myself doing it. Somebody does something stupid. I say, man, we have to do something about this. And then I think, no, that's exactly what the problem is. It is not a problem of what people are doing wrong. It is a problem of who we have in society. And I'm not talking about just the U.S. Yeah, we have Honey Boo Boo and the Kardashians, which is a travesty of epic proportions. But this is global. You can find the same stuff in Korea, same stuff in Japan, Australia, New Zealand. Pick a country. Pick one. I will find the exact same problem in that country as it is here. Why? Because we partially set the standard. You know, we did this. People like you sitting at home going, oh, we just need to do something about it. Okay, we'll do it. You know, and for those of you whining and complaining and moaning about Duck Dynasty, stop. Just knock it off. Show me another television program that can bring some semblance of morals and a moral compass back to this United States, to the globe. Yeah, they may be a bunch of rednecks. Half the U.S. is. You know, look at the popularity. It is the #1 cable television show of all time. Not this year, not last year, of all time. And for those of you who complain about Ted Nugent, let me tell you something about Ted Nugent. Okay, once again, you need to stop criticizing him too. He is more sober than you are, I guarantee it. He has never touched alcohol, never touched drugs. The only food that that man consumes comes directly from the earth. And most of it he shoots himself. If not, it's probably given to him by one of his loyal fans. So guess what? He's eating healthy protein. There is no antibiotics, no hormones, nothing. And you're over there munching on a Big Mac, criticizing him? You're drinking fluorinated water and you're going to criticize him. Really? Penn Jillette, same thing. Never touched alcohol, never touched weed. But you don't agree with some of his policies. Why? Well, they're just a little too extreme for my taste. Really, what's extreme about him? As one guy said, calling Ron Paul an isolationist is like calling your next door neighbor a hermit crab because they didn't come break your window. Think about it. I want you to seriously go within yourself and think about everything you've done and everything you've thought about. I'm here to test your convictions to make sure that when the time comes, you are ready to go. Because there will be a shot heard around the world. And you need to look within yourself and say, am I going to take action? You need to think about it now. Will I be taking action when the time comes? Because you'll know. It's not going to be some slow buildup. It's going to be a bam, here it is. The shot is heard around the world. It's begun. Are you going to stay on the sidelines and whimper and moan and cry and say somebody should do something about these crazy people? Because like with the Duck Dynasty thing, like with hundreds of other issues that we've seen in popular culture, people are going to lie. You will be lied to by the mainstream media. It's not an if. It's not a when. It's going to happen. It has happened. It won't stop. Until we come to these people and say, look, you need to tell us the truth. Like with the NSA. Google finally said, okay, well, if my customers are going to leave me because I participate with the NSA, I guess I'll just have to comply. They've been doing this for 5 years. They've already bought out a lot of the defense contracting agencies that build humanoid robots. Think Terminator. And if you want to, let me know and I'll link to videos in the show notes. How about that, huh? You see, here's the thing. You haven't thought about that yet. Am I going to partake in whatever's going to happen? Because in order to get rid of some of these regulatory agencies, we have to turn the entire system back to what it was. Now, I'm not saying we need to go back to candle-powered everything or steam locomotives or steam cars. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, the regulations that have been put in place are too much to overcome by themselves. We need to completely rethink everything we've done, maybe even for 150 years. Because that's when the progressives truly came into power. Now I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. This paper right here shows all of the new regulations passed January 1st, 2014. Or I should say they went into effect on the 1st of this year. These are the federal regulations that have been enforced upon you, not by elected officials, but by bureaucrats and regulatory agencies. See this little stack? Those are the federal laws passed and signed by the president. That's it. The rest of this, you didn't want, you didn't elect, and now you are forced to abide by them. If you really want to see how bad it is, go talk to somebody who deals with the federal or the Code of Federal Regulations on a daily basis. I myself took a hazmat course and had to deal with it for 2 weeks. And it was more information than you even want to fathom. That's just shipping it. That's, okay, I'm giving it to a truck driver, I'm making sure he has the proper labels, and that's it. That's as far as you go with it. Now he's got his own set of rules. Now the State Patrol guy who's going to pull him over has his own set of rules. Passed by who? Not the guys you elected. Maybe appointed by the guys you elected. Maybe one. And we're talking the head honcho. The rest of these people were hired by the people in their offices. People that thought like you used to. Oh, well, man, somebody's got to do something about this. Needs to be a law passed. Stop thinking that way. Stop it. Re-evaluate every thought process you have. Anytime a thought like that pops in your head, you need to say something like, Is this the right way? Is this how it should be? Where is my freedom? We have soldiers coming back from combat who got a little bit of a taste of freedom maybe in Afghanistan or Iraq, you know. Because believe it or not, on a FOB, you have less rules than you do here. Okay? They come back and say things like, this is what I fought for? This is what I watched my friends die for. Or, you know, in some cases, I lost a limb for this? I lost all 4 limbs for this. That is what should be going through your head. Okay? Now let's move on to some solutions. You either need to make a walk to freedom or change your city codes, ordinances, get in city council, whatever you need to do. Only worry about things that are in your circle of concern and your circle of influence. Can I change this? No. Can I get to a position to change this? No. Don't worry about it. Can I get to a position to change this? Yes. Do it. Can I change this or get to a position to change this? Yes and yes. Take care of it. Okay? Find your own personal freedom and your own personal liberty. Get proficient on your firearm. Get proficient with the skills of old. Canning, gardening. Work on your self-reliance, right? Self-reliance means, okay, I've got 60 days worth of food. I have 60 days of self-reliance. Self-sufficiency. I have a garden. I can save my seeds. Now I have food self-sufficiency. Okay? Plant a garden. Get some self-reliance. Get some self-sufficiency in your life. And rethink all of your positions. Make sure that your convictions are rock solid. Because when the time comes, they will be tested. Make no mistake about that. Don't ever think that they're going to be soft. And by they, I mean a lot of people. Whether it's the social media out there, your friends and family, whether it's the government, international government, if you live on Australia, your government there. These people are the same no matter where you go. They were the same in Roman times. They were the same during the Crusades. They were the same during the papacy. Think about it. They never change. The elite never change. I want you to think about that. The only thing that keeps them in check and kept them in check for over 150 years was the people. Okay, and I'm not talking some socialist version of the people. I'm talking the people, right? Because in George Washington's day, over 50% of the population grew their own food. What's the percentage now? 2%? Less than 2%? Average age of the farmer today is 58. Well, actually, it was 2 years ago, so now we're looking at 60 years old. Who's going to farm after that? Where does your food come from? Do you know? We moved from Denver, a place where laws and regulations are the code for law-abiding citizens. Criminals, they don't care. They run that place. So we moved way west. We got 20 acres. We started gardening. We started chickens. We've got a lot more projects in the process. But that's our personal walk to freedom. That's what's right for us. I don't know what's right for you. I don't know where you live. But please, please, mentally prepare yourself. Get some self-reliance. Get some self-sufficiency. I don't care if you're liberal, Democrat. It doesn't matter. Parties don't matter. They really don't. I only call myself a libertarian because that's the closest thing to what you could call me. And even then, I piss off a lot of libertarians, especially with the driver's license issue. And for God's sakes, do not get a DUI. That is the quickest way to get yourself inside the system, literally. And I don't know if they set it up that way or if it's just the pendulum has come too far. I don't know what it is. Just don't do it. Trust me. And anyways, those are your solutions for this week. I'll go ahead and I'll see you next week on Ray's Corner. Think about what I said. We'll see you soon.